Along the rugged Arizona border, a Mexican cartel's decision to burn down a seemingly ordinary K9 training facility would become their most catastrophic mistake. What the members of Los Hierros cartel didn't realize when they targeted the Desert Guardians K9 Center was that these weren't just regular service dogs. They were elite military veterans, some of the most decorated Special Operations K9 warriors in U.S. military history. This is the extraordinary story of how an act of vengeance against a small training facility led to the collapse of a billion-dollar criminal empire when retired military dogs unveiled their true capabilities. The morning sun cast long shadows across the Desert Guardians K9 Center as Marcus Reynolds checked the facility's perimeter, his trained eyes scanning the distant mountains. Shadow, his Belgian Malinois, moved silently beside him, the dog's muscular frame betraying none of the lethal skills honed through 3 combat tours in Afghanistan. Before we dive deeper into this story, hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow's video will reveal another shocking tale of unexpected heroes changing the course of history. Looking good today, Shadow? Marcus adjusted his baseball cap, the morning heat already building. The Malinois' ears twitched at his voice, but like his handler, the dog's attention remained focused on their surroundings. Years of battlefield experience evident in every calculated movement. Inside the facility's main building, Sarah Chen reviewed training schedules while her German Shepherd, Atlas, maintained his usual position by the door. To most visitors, Atlas appeared to be a well-behaved facility dog, but hidden beneath his calm exterior lay the instincts and training of a Tier 1 military operator. "Morning, Sarah," Dave Martinez called out as he entered, his chocolate Labrador Rico padding silently beside him. "Got 3 new arrivals today. Local police departments want advanced detection training." Rico's friendly demeanor masked his own distinguished military background, specializing in explosive detection during sensitive operations. The Desert Guardians facility had earned a reputation for excellence in K9 training, though few knew the elite military backgrounds of its core team. Maria Suarez pulled into the parking lot, her truck kicking up dust. Her Dutch Shepherd, Viper, sat alertly in the passenger seat, scanning their surroundings with practiced precision. "Another unmarked vehicle," she noted quietly, spotting a black SUV making its 3rd pass of the morning. Viper's ears flattened slightly. The Shepherd had spent years identifying threats in hostile territories, and something about the vehicle's movement pattern felt familiar. Inside his office, Marcus reviewed security footage from the previous night. 3 different vehicles had circled the facility, their patterns suggesting surveillance rather than casual interest. Shadow's low growl confirmed his handler's suspicions. They were being watched. The cartel's presence in the area had been growing, but until now they'd shown no interest in a simple K9 training center. "They're getting bolder," Sarah observed, noting another suspicious vehicle through the window. Atlas had shifted his position slightly, his posture still relaxed, but his weight distributed for quick movement. A subtle change only another handler would notice. "3rd new vehicle this week. They're mapping our routines." The facility's reputation had been built on exceptional training results, transforming police and security dogs into highly effective working partners. What their clients didn't know was that the core training team consisted entirely of former military handlers and their combat veteran dogs, each with years of special operations experience. This elite background had been kept deliberately quiet, allowing them to provide top-tier training while maintaining a low profile. "Good morning, everyone." Officer James Parker arrived with his young German Shepherd trainee, Luna, ready for another day of advanced scent work. The local police department was one of their regular clients, though Officer Parker had no idea he was learning from some of the most experienced military K9 teams in the country. Atlas watched the young dog with apparent disinterest, though his trained eyes were evaluating her movement patterns, a habit from years of assessing potential team members in combat zones. Maria approached Marcus, her voice low. That black SUV made another pass, Viper's picking up on something. The Dutch Shepherd had served in some of the most dangerous regions of the Middle East. His ability to detect threats had saved countless lives. Same driver as yesterday, different passengers. "They're not just passing by anymore," Marcus agreed, watching Shadow track another slow-moving vehicle through the property's fence line. The Malinois' muscles tensed slightly, recognizing patterns similar to those they'd encountered in combat zones. "Dave, how's the perimeter?" Dave Martinez had been reviewing security protocols, his years as a Special Operations K9 handler evident in his methodical approach. Rico, despite his laid-back appearance, had already identified multiple approach vectors that would need additional monitoring. "We might want to adjust the camera angles, getting some blind spots with the new construction." The facility's recent expansion had been necessary to meet growing demand, but it had also created new security challenges. What none of their clients realized was that every renovation had been planned with tactical considerations in mind, drawing on the team's military experience. Hidden cameras, reinforced entry points, and multiple fallback positions had been integrated seamlessly into the design. "Morning, Mr. Reynolds," Amy Torres called out, approaching with her police K9 trainee, Max. "Is this spot okay for practice?" She gestured to a training area, unaware that she'd chosen one of several pre-designated defensive positions, locations the veteran dogs had naturally gravitated towards during layout planning. "Perfect spot, Amy." Marcus smiled, though his eyes continued scanning the perimeter. Shadow had shifted position slightly, maintaining line of sight to 3 different approach vectors while appearing to simply watch the training session. The Malinois' combat instincts never truly faded. They'd just been redirected to a new mission. Sarah's phone buzzed, a text from their security system supplier. Frank Weber, a former military contractor, had been noticing unusual patterns in local business activities. 3 security companies had suddenly closed shop, replaced by new firms with questionable backgrounds. The cartel's infiltration of the area was accelerating, though their interest in a K9 facility remained puzzling. "Atlas, status check," Sarah murmured, using one of their old combat commands. The German Shepherd performed a casual stretch that allowed him to survey the entire front area of the facility. His enhanced situational awareness, developed through years of battlefield operations, had detected subtle changes in traffic patterns around the property. "Hey, Sarah!" Officer Parker approached the front desk. "Luna's really progressing with the detection work. Whatever training method you're using, it's incredible. If he only knew that Luna was learning techniques developed for special operations, adapted for civilian law enforcement use." Atlas watched the interaction while maintaining his surveillance, years of experience allowing him to appear completely relaxed while remaining combat ready. Dave's radio crackled, Another staff member reporting a suspicious vehicle near the back entrance. Rico's ears twitched at the sound, but the Labrador maintained his friendly demeanor, years of covert operations having perfected his ability to remain unassuming while alert. "Copy that," Dave responded, making a note to review camera footage from that sector. Outside, Marcus observed a silver sedan making its fourth pass of the morning. Shadow's muscles tensed imperceptibly, recognizing the same vehicle behavior patterns they'd encountered before raids in combat zones. "Getting quite popular today," he commented to Maria as she approached with Viper. "Too popular," she agreed, noting how her Dutch Shepherd had positioned himself to maintain sightlines to multiple approaches. "Viper's been tracking that black SUV, same one from the hardware store incident last week." The recent confrontation at Weber's security supply had raised concerns, cartel members attempting to pressure local businesses into using their preferred security contractors. Sarah reviewed the day's training schedule while Atlas maintained his watch. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he regularly scanned entry points, while appearing to simply enjoy the air conditioning. Years of battlefield operations had taught him to identify threats while maintaining absolute discretion. "Mr. Reynolds," Amy called out, "Max is having trouble with the new obstacle course." Marcus headed over to assist, Shadow moving smoothly beside him. The Malinois used the movement to perform another tactical assessment of the area, his military training transforming a simple walk into a comprehensive security sweep. Maria's phone buzzed with updates from their security network. 2 more businesses had reported unusual visits, men offering protection services with thinly veiled threats. The cartel's pattern was becoming clear, systematically taking control of local security infrastructure. What remained unclear was their sudden interest in a K9 training facility. Inside his office, Marcus reviewed satellite imagery of the area, noting increased activity at several previously abandoned properties. Shadow lay at his feet, appearing to rest, but actually processing every sound, every movement, every change in air current. Skills honed through countless combat missions now focused on protecting their new home. "Team meeting in 5, Sarah announced, her voice casual, though her eyes conveyed urgency. Atlas shifted position, automatically moving to cover the main entrance, while maintaining his appearance of relaxed indifference. The German Shepherd's ability to remain combat-ready while appearing completely calm had been crucial during numerous covert operations. Dave secured the training areas, while Rico performed a final sweep, the Labrador's friendly demeanor masking his methodical inspection of every corner, every shadow. Years of explosive detection in combat zones had taught him to leave nothing to chance. "All clear," Dave reported, though his expression suggested otherwise. The morning sun climbed higher. As Marcus watched another suspicious vehicle pass the facility, Shadow's ears tracked its movement, the Malinois' combat-honed senses detecting details that would escape most observers. The cartel's surveillance was becoming more obvious, more aggressive. What they didn't realize was that they weren't watching a simple training facility. They were being watched by some of the most experienced military K9 teams in the world. The Desert Guardians facility had been built on more than just expert training knowledge. It represented a new mission for handlers and dogs who had served in the most dangerous environments on Earth. Now, as cartel threats gathered around them, years of combat experience were about to become crucial in an unexpected way. The question wasn't if the cartel would make their move, but when and whether they would realize their mistake before it was too late. The afternoon heat rippled across the Desert Guardians facility as Marcus gathered his team in the climate-controlled conference room. Shadow took his usual position by the door, his alert posture contrasting with his seemingly relaxed demeanor. 3 more businesses received visits yesterday, Marcus began, pulling up surveillance photos on the screen. The cartel's pattern is expanding. Sarah studied the images while Atlas maintained his watch near the window. The German shepherd's ears tracked multiple vehicles moving past the facility, his specialized combat training allowing him to distinguish between routine traffic and potential threats. They're establishing a perimeter, she noted, recognizing the tactical pattern from their military days. Same approach they used in the Martinez district last month. Weber's security supply got another visit this morning, Dave added, as Rico performed a subtle perimeter check of the conference room. The Labrador's friendly appearance belied his extensive combat experience in threat detection. Frank said they're demanding exclusive supply contracts now. Anyone who refuses faces accidents with their inventory. Maria activated the secure display, showing a map of recent cartel activities. Viper's ears perked up at the sound of approaching vehicles, but the Dutch shepherd maintained his disciplined position. They're systematically taking control of all security infrastructure in the region. Private security companies, equipment suppliers, training facilities. Her voice trailed off as the pattern became clear. Except us, Marcus finished, watching Shadow track another slow-moving vehicle through the window. The Malinois' muscle tension was barely noticeable, but to his handler, it spoke volumes. We're the last independent facility in a 50-mile radius. Officer Parker's arrival interrupted their discussion, Luna eagerly pulling at her leash for the day's training session. Morning, everyone. Hope we're not too early. The team smoothly transitioned to their public roles, though their combat-trained dogs maintained their covert surveillance positions. Perfect timing, Sarah smiled, while Atlas performed what appeared to be a casual stretch, but was actually a tactical repositioning. We'll be working on advanced scent discrimination today. The techniques they taught were carefully adapted. Versions of military protocols, modified for law enforcement use without revealing their classified origins. Outside, 2 more suspicious vehicles passed the facility. Dave monitored their movement patterns while appearing to set up training equipment. Rico's tail wagged enthusiastically as he helped arrange scent markers, his practiced friendliness masking how he catalogued each vehicle's details: makes, models, occupants, weapon signatures. Mr. Reynolds? Amy approached with her trainee. Max, there's an unusual car parked across the street. Been there about an hour. Marcus nodded, having already noted the vehicle. Shadow's earlier behavior had marked it as a potential threat, though the Malinois gave no obvious sign of concern. Probably just watching the training, Marcus assured her, though his eyes met Maria's across the yard. Viper had already positioned himself for optimal coverage of that sector, his military experience evident in his strategic placement. Let's focus on today's exercises. Sarah's phone buzzed with another update from their security network. The cartel's pressure on local businesses was intensifying. 3 more security companies had voluntarily closed, their clients immediately. Approached by cartel-controlled alternatives, Atlas tracked her tension, automatically adjusting his position to better monitor the facility's main entrance. Starting to see a pattern, Dave murmured to Marcus as they prepared the afternoon training session. Rico maintained his playful demeanor while systematically sweeping the area. His explosive detection training now focused on identifying potential threats. "They're isolating us." The team had anticipated this possibility, their military experience informing their preparations. Every recent facility upgrade had included tactical improvements, reinforced walls disguised as routine maintenance, security systems hidden within training equipment, emergency protocols embedded in daily routines. The dogs had naturally incorporated these features into their surveillance patterns, military training adapting seamlessly to civilian cover. "Maria, status check," Marcus called out casually, using their old combat shorthand. Viper had detected something near the perimeter, his behavior subtle but meaningful to those who knew his combat indicators. The Dutch Shepherd's ears twitched slightly as another vehicle approached, this one moving with purposeful slowness. "Sector 4, clear," she responded, though her hand signal indicated otherwise. Years of covert operations had taught them to communicate vital information while maintaining normal appearances. The cartel's surveillance was becoming more sophisticated, but they were watching for civilian reactions, not military tactics. Inside the facility, Sarah guided Officer Parker through advanced detection exercises. Atlas monitored the training while maintaining his surveillance of key approaches, his battlefield experience allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. "Excellent progress, Luna," Sarah praised the young dog, noting how Atlas had subtly positioned himself between the windows and the training area. "She's learning so fast," Officer Parker beamed, unaware that Luna was being trained using modified special operations protocols. "Whatever you folks are doing here, it's amazing." Atlas's ears tracked another vehicle passing too slowly, but his relaxed posture gave no indication of his combat-ready status. Dave's radio crackled with updates from their perimeter sensors. Rico's tail wagged happily as he greeted a new trainee, while his trained senses catalogued potential threats. Unusual scents, movement patterns, thermal signatures that didn't match civilian profiles. The Labrador's extensive experience in explosive detection had honed his ability to identify danger while appearing completely harmless. "Marcus?" Maria approached with training documents, her voice casual but her eyes conveying urgency. "Got those new certification papers you wanted to review?" The papers contained surveillance photos showing cartel members inspecting the facility's perimeter, their behavior indicating more than casual interest. Shadow moved smoothly to maintain optimal position as Marcus reviewed the documents. The Malinois' combat training evident in how he established overlapping fields of view with the other dogs. Years of battlefield operations had taught them to create comprehensive security coverage while appearing to simply enjoy each other's company. "Interesting timing," Marcus noted, recognizing faces from recent incidents at local businesses. Shadow's ears tracked multiple approaching vehicles, his sophisticated threat detection capabilities noting subtle changes in traffic patterns. "They're not even trying to hide anymore." Sarah monitored the facility's security feeds while directing afternoon training sessions. Atlas maintained his watch, his military experience allowing him to process multiple information streams while appearing to simply observe the classes. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he consistently anticipated potential threat vectors, positioning himself accordingly. "Equipment check," Dave announced, initiating their routine inspection of training gear. Rico enthusiastically helped demonstrate proper equipment handling, his playful demeanor masking how he methodically verified security measures hidden within each piece. The Labrador's explosive detection skills had been crucial in establishing their covert defense systems. Maria's network of contacts reported increasing pressure on local businesses. Viper remained alert but calm as she processed the information. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience evident in how he maintained tactical awareness while appearing to simply rest nearby. Their military training had prepared them for extended surveillance operations, patience becoming their greatest asset. Another vehicle, Sarah noted quietly as a black SUV made its fifth pass of the day. Atlas's body language shifted slightly, acknowledging the potential threat while maintaining his relaxed facade. The German Shepherd's specialized combat training had included extensive work in identifying hostile surveillance, skills now proving valuable in an unexpected context. The afternoon heat continued to build as Marcus observed Cartel vehicles establishing observation points around the facility. Shadow tracked their movements with practiced precision, his military experience allowing him to identify tactical patterns while appearing to simply enjoy the weather. The Malinois' combat-honed senses detected subtle changes in the surveillance team's behavior. They were preparing for something. "Dave, perimeter check," Marcus called out, maintaining their routine schedule. Rico bounded enthusiastically alongside, his handler, the Labrador's friendly nature concealing how he methodically documented every security concern. Years of military operations had taught them to hide their capabilities in plain sight, making their greatest strength appear to be their greatest weakness. Officer Parker departed with Luna, proud of her progress, but unaware of the tactical situation developing around them. Atlas maintained his watch as Sarah bid them goodbye, the German Shepherd's specialized training allowing him to monitor multiple sectors simultaneously while appearing perfectly calm. Their military experience had taught them that the best defense often lay in being underestimated. "They're testing our response times," Maria observed as another suspicious vehicle passed slowly by. Viper's ears tracked the sound of multiple engines approaching from different directions, his combat experience recognizing coordinated surveillance patterns. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he maintained tactical awareness while appearing to simply follow his handler's routine. The facility's security systems logged increasing activity around their perimeter. Marcus reviewed the data while Shadow maintained his guard position, the Malinois' combat training evident in how he processed multiple threat indicators while appearing to simply rest nearby. Years of battlefield operations had taught them to recognize the signs of impending action. "Preparing for evening sessions," Sarah announced, initiating their enhanced security protocols under the guise of routine activities. Atlas moved smoothly to his designated position, his military experience allowing him to establish optimal coverage while appearing to simply follow standard procedures. The German Shepherd's specialized training had included extensive work in covert facility defense, skills now becoming increasingly relevant. Dave secured training equipment while Rico performed another systematic sweep of the grounds. The Labrador's cheerful demeanor never wavered as he identified multiple surveillance positions, his explosive detection experience proving valuable in understanding the cartel's tactical preparations. Their military background had taught them to recognize patterns of hostile intent, even when disguised as ordinary activity. As the sun began to set, Maria's security network reported increased cartel movement throughout the region. Viper processed the changing tactical situation while maintaining his calm demeanor, the Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience evident in how he adjusted his position to maintain optimal coverage. Their military training had prepared them for extended operations, patience becoming their greatest asset. The Desert Guardians facility maintained its normal operations as darkness approached. Though beneath the routine activity, years of specialized military training drove every movement, every position, every decision. The cartel's surveillance continued to escalate, unaware that their every move was being monitored, analyzed, and countered by some of the most experienced combat K9 teams in the world. The question wasn't if they would make their move, but whether they would realize their mistake in time to prevent their own exposure. Night descended over the Desert Guardians facility as Marcus reviewed thermal imaging feeds from their hidden security systems. Shadow's ears perked up at the sound of approaching vehicles, the Malinois' specialized training detecting subtle changes in the traffic patterns. 3 black SUVs had established positions around the perimeter, their occupants maintaining constant surveillance. Movement in Sector 6, Sarah reported quietly, watching Atlas track something beyond the facility's fence line. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he processed multiple threat indicators while appearing to simply rest near her desk. Same vehicle configuration as the Martinez district incident. Dave monitored their security network while Rico performed another systematic sweep of the facility's vulnerable points. The Labrador's tail wagged cheerfully as he passed the evening training group, though his explosive detection skills were focused on identifying potential breach points. Their staging equipment at the abandoned warehouse, Dave noted, recognizing tactical patterns from their military days. Maria approached with Viper, the Dutch Shepherd's body language communicating volumes to his experienced handler. Weber's security cameras caught them moving heavy equipment through the back roads. Frank says they're using furniture trucks as cover. The cartel's methodology was becoming clearer. Systematic isolation, followed by overwhelming force. They're not waiting anymore, Marcus observed, as another convoy of vehicles established positions around the facility. Shadow's muscles tensed imperceptibly, the Malinois' combat training recognizing pre-assault patterns. They're preparing for something tonight. Officer Chen arrived for the evening's advanced training session, unaware of the tactical situation developing around them. Evening, everyone, ready for some night training? Atlas maintained his watch while Sarah welcomed them. The German Shepherd's specialized experience, allowing him to monitor multiple sectors simultaneously. Perfect timing, Sarah smiled, though her eyes caught Marcus's signal. We'll be working on low-light detection exercises. The training protocols they developed incorporated their military experience, designed to maintain operational readiness while appearing purely civilian in nature. Outside, more vehicles moved into position. Around the facility, Dave coordinated with their security network, while Rico enthusiastically greeted new arrivals. The Labrador's friendly demeanor masking how he catalogued potential threats. Years of combat operations had taught them to hide their capabilities. In plain sight, Mr. Reynolds. A trainee approached with concern. There are some strange cars parked near my truck. Should I be worried? Marcus assured them everything was fine, though Shadow had already identified multiple armed individuals. In the vicinity, the Malinois' battlefield experience allowed him to detect threats while maintaining absolute discretion. Maria's security feeds showed increasing activity around their perimeter. Viper processed the tactical information while appearing to simply observe the training sessions. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training evident in how he maintained comprehensive surveillance coverage. They're establishing a complete cordon, Maria noted, recognizing military-style containment tactics. Sarah guided the evening training group through advanced exercises while Atlas monitored their surroundings. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he positioned himself to maintain optimal coverage of critical areas. "Excellent work, everyone!" she encouraged, using their practiced signals to communicate tactical updates to the team. Equipment. "Check," Dave announced, initiating their enhanced security protocols under the guise of routine maintenance. Rico helped demonstrate proper equipment handling while systematically verifying their defensive preparations. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proving crucial in identifying potential vulnerabilities. The Cartel's surveillance teams maintained their positions as darkness settled over the facility. Marcus observed their patterns while Shadow tracked multiple threat indicators, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to process complex tactical situations while appearing perfectly calm. Their military experience had taught them to recognize the signs of imminent action. "Maria, status update," Marcus called out casually, using their combat shorthand. Viper had detected something significant near the perimeter, his behavior subtle, but meaningful to those who understood his battlefield indicators. The Dutch Shepherd's ears tracked multiple approaching vehicles, each moving with practiced coordination. "Sector 2 compromised," she responded, maintaining their civilian cover while communicating critical information. Years of covert operations had prepared them for situations requiring absolute discretion, their military training adapting seamlessly to civilian context. Inside the facility, Sarah directed night training exercises while monitoring their security feeds. Atlas maintained his vigilant watch. The German Shepherd's specialized experience allowing him to anticipate potential threat vectors while appearing to simply observe the classes. Their military background had taught them to recognize patterns of hostile intent, even when disguised as routine activity. "Perimeter check," Dave initiated, moving through their defensive positions while Rico enthusiastically engaged with trainees. The Labrador's playful nature concealed how he methodically verified their security measures, years of combat experience evident in his precise movements. Officer Chen departed with his trainee, impressed by their progress but unaware of the tactical situation developing around them. Atlas tracked their departure while maintaining surveillance of key approaches, his battlefield training allowing him to process multiple security concerns simultaneously. "They're moving equipment into position," Maria reported as more vehicles arrived at the abandoned warehouse. Viper's posture shifted slightly, acknowledging the escalating threat while maintaining his disciplined demeanor. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he adapted to changing tactical situations while appearing perfectly calm. The facility's security systems logged increasing activity along their perimeter. Marcus reviewed the data while Shadow maintained his guard position, the Malinois' combat experience evident in how he processed multiple threat indicators while appearing to simply rest nearby. Years of battlefield operations had taught them to recognize the signs of impending assault. Evening sessions wrapping up, Sarah announced, implementing their enhanced security protocols under the guise of routine closure procedures. Atlas moved smoothly to his designated position, his military training allowing him to establish optimal coverage while appearing to simply follow standard procedures. Dave secured the training areas, while Rico performed another systematic sweep of the grounds. The Labrador's cheerful demeanor never wavered as he identified multiple hostile surveillance positions, his explosive detection experience proving valuable in understanding the cartel's tactical preparations. Maria's security network reported increased cartel movement throughout the region. Viper processed the changing tactical situation while maintaining his calm demeanor. The Dutch shepherd's battlefield experience evident in how he adjusted his position to maintain optimal coverage. Their military training had prepared them for extended operations under high-threat conditions. "They're testing our night security," Marcus observed as another vehicle probed their perimeter. Shadow's ears tracked multiple threats while maintaining his relaxed facade. The Malinois specialized training, allowing him to detect subtle changes in the surveillance team's behavior. The cartel's operations were becoming more coordinated, more aggressive. Sarah monitored their security feeds while Atlas maintained his watch near the main entrance. The German shepherd's combat experience showed in how he processed multiple information streams while appearing to simply rest nearby. Years of battlefield operations had taught them to recognize the patterns of imminent hostile action. "Final equipment check," Dave called out, using their practiced routines to verify defensive positions. Rico bounded enthusiastically through their security checkpoints, the Labrador's friendly nature concealing how he methodically confirmed their tactical preparations. Their military background had taught them to hide their capabilities until the moment they were needed most. The night deepened as cartel vehicles maintained their surveillance positions around the facility. Marcus coordinated with their security network while Shadow processed multiple threat indicators, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to detect subtle changes in the tactical situation. Their military experience had prepared them for operations requiring absolute patience and precision. "Maria, sector report," Marcus requested, maintaining their civilian cover. Viper had identified significant changes in the cartel's deployment pattern, his behavior communicating volumes. To his experienced handler, the Dutch shepherd's battlefield training showed in how he maintained tactical awareness while appearing perfectly calm. "All sectors active," she responded, using their practiced signals to convey critical information. Years of covert operations had taught them to communicate complex tactical situations while maintaining absolute discretion. The cartel's surveillance teams were consolidating their positions, unaware that their every move was being monitored by combat veteran K9 teams. The Desert Guardians facility appeared quiet as the last training sessions concluded, though beneath the routine activity, years of specialized military training drove every movement, every position, every decision. The cartel's forces continued to gather, unaware that their targets had already detected their presence, analyzed their patterns, and prepared appropriate responses. Their mistake wasn't just in targeting a K9 training facility. It was in failing to recognize that they were facing some of the most experienced military K9 teams in the world. Teams whose specialized training was about to become their worst nightmare. Midnight approached as the Desert Guardians facility maintained its appearance of routine closure. Marcus monitored their security feeds from the control room, noting how the cartel's vehicles had systematically blocked every approach route. Shadow's ears tracked multiple threats while maintaining his relaxed posture. The Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process complex tactical situations. Movement at the warehouse, Sarah reported, watching Atlas analyze changes in the surveillance team's patterns. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he interpreted multiple threat indicators simultaneously. They're moving heavy equipment under cover of darkness. Dave coordinated with their security network, while Rico performed another systematic sweep of critical areas. The Labrador's tail wagged happily as he verified defensive positions. His explosive detection skills focused on identifying potential breach points. Thermal imaging shows at least 30 armed individuals, Dave noted, recognizing assault team formations from their military operations. Maria accessed their hidden camera feeds, Viper's body language confirming her suspicions. They're establishing multiple strike teams, she observed. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience evident in how he tracked coordinated movement patterns. Using standard cartel assault protocols. Main force assembling in Sector 8, Marcus confirmed as another convoy arrived at the warehouse. Shadow's muscles tensed imperceptibly, the Malinois' combat training recognizing pre-assault indicators. They're not bothering with subtlety anymore. The facility's external lights cast long shadows across the training grounds, deliberately creating blind spots that their specialized security systems could monitor. Sarah checked their defensive preparations while Atlas maintained his watch, the German Shepherd's military experience allowing him to anticipate potential attack vectors. Perimeter sensors active, Dave reported, using their practice signals to communicate tactical updates. Rico moved enthusiastically through their security checkpoints, the Labrador's friendly demeanor masking how he verified their counter-assault preparations. Years of combat operations had taught them to hide their capabilities until the critical moment. Maria's network reported increased cartel activity throughout the region. Viper processed the tactical information while appearing to simply rest. Nearby, the Dutch Shepherd's specialized training evident in how he maintained comprehensive surveillance. They're clearing civilians from the area, she noted, recognizing isolation tactics from their military experience. Multiple vehicles approaching from the north, Sarah observed as Atlas tracked new movement patterns. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he analyzed potential threats while maintaining his relaxed facade. Their military background had prepared them for operations requiring absolute discretion. Dave monitored their security feeds while Rico performed another systematic sweep of the facility's vulnerable points. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial in identifying potential breach locations, his playful nature concealing his precise tactical assessment. They're positioning breaching equipment, Dave warned, recognizing military-grade tools from their combat deployments. Status check, Marcus called out, using their combat shorthand. Shadow's ears tracked multiple threat indicators, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to detect subtle changes in the tactical situation. The cartel's forces were moving with practiced coordination, unaware that their targets had extensive experience countering professional military operations. Maria coordinated with their security network as Viper analyzed new movement patterns. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience showed in how he processed multiple information streams while maintaining his disciplined demeanor. Thermal signatures increasing at all approach points, she reported, recognizing standard encirclement. Tactics. Inside the facility, Sarah verified their defensive positions, while Atlas maintained optimal coverage of critical areas. The German Shepherd's military training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors while appearing to simply guard his post. Years of combat operations had taught them to prepare for multiple contingencies. Equipment check complete, Dave announced, implementing their enhanced security protocols under the guise of routine maintenance. Rico bounded enthusiastically through their checkpoints, the Labrador's friendly nature concealing how he methodically confirmed their tactical preparations. Their military experience had taught them to recognize patterns of imminent hostile action. The Cartel's surveillance teams maintained their positions as the night deepened. Marcus observed their deployment patterns while Shadow tracked multiple threats. The Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process complex tactical situations while appearing perfectly calm. Their combat background had prepared them for operations requiring absolute patience and precision. Sector 3. Compromised? Maria reported quietly, noting how Viper's behavior indicated significant changes in the cartel's positioning. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience showed in how he maintained tactical awareness, while appearing to simply rest nearby. Years of covert operations had taught them to communicate critical information while maintaining absolute discretion. Sarah monitored their security feeds as Atlas processed new threat indicators. The German Shepherd's combat experience allowed him to analyze multiple tactical situations simultaneously while maintaining his guard position. Their military training had prepared them for operations requiring comprehensive threat assessment. Final positions confirmed, Dave noted, as Rico performed another systematic sweep of their defensive preparations. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved valuable in verifying their counter-assault measures, his cheerful demeanor masking his precise tactical movements. Years of combat operations had taught them to prepare for multiple attack scenarios. Marcus reviewed thermal imaging data, while Shadow maintained his guard position. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat indicators while appearing to simply rest nearby. Their military experience had taught them to recognize the signs of imminent hostile action. They're initiating radio silence, Maria observed as Viper tracked changes in the cartel's communication patterns. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience allowed him to detect subtle tactical shifts while maintaining his disciplined posture. Years of covert operations had prepared them for situations requiring absolute precision. Sarah coordinated their defensive preparations while Atlas monitored multiple sectors simultaneously. The German Shepherd's combat training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors while maintaining his relaxed facade. Their military background had taught them to prepare for operations requiring comprehensive security coverage. Breaching teams in position, Dave reported as Rico verified their counter-assault measures. The Labrador's explosive detection experience proved crucial in identifying potential breach points, his friendly nature concealing his precise tactical assessment. Years of combat operations had taught them to recognize the signs of imminent attack. The facility's security systems logged increasing activity along their perimeter. Marcus analyzed the data while Shadow processed multiple threat indicators, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to detect subtle changes in the tactical situation. Their military experience had prepared them for operations requiring absolute patience and precision. All sectors reporting movement, Maria noted, as Viper tracked coordinated changes in the cartel's positioning. The Dutch shepherd's battlefield experience showed in how he maintained comprehensive surveillance while appearing perfectly calm. Years of covert operations had taught them to prepare for multiple contingencies. Sarah monitored their defensive positions, while Atlas maintained optimal coverage of critical areas. The German Shepherd's military training allowed him to process multiple tactical situations simultaneously while appearing to simply guard his post. Their combat background had prepared them for operations requiring absolute discretion. Final equipment check, Dave announced, verifying their counter-assault preparations while Rico performed another systematic sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved valuable in confirming their defensive measures, his playful demeanor masking his precise tactical movements. Years of military operations had taught them to hide their capabilities until the critical moment. The night grew darker as cartel forces maintained their positions around the facility. Marcus coordinated with their security network, while Shadow tracked multiple threats, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to process complex tactical situations while appearing perfectly calm. Their combat experience had prepared them for operations requiring absolute patience and precision. The Desert Guardian's facility appeared quiet and vulnerable, exactly as they intended. The cartel's forces continued to gather, unaware that their every move was being monitored, analyzed, and countered by combat veteran K9 teams whose specialized military training was about to transform a simple training facility into their worst tactical nightmare. The first attack came at 2 a.m., precisely as Marcus had predicted. A sudden explosion rocked the facility's eastern fence line, designed to draw attention while cartel forces attempted to breach the western perimeter. Shadow's ears tracked multiple threats as chaos erupted, the Malinois' combat training instantly activating as emergency protocols engaged. Contact West Sector, Sarah reported calmly, watching Atlas shift into full tactical mode. The German Shepherd's years of battlefield experience showed as he seamlessly transitioned from facility dog to combat operator. 3 breach teams, standard cartel configuration. Dave monitored their security feeds while Rico detected approaching threats through the smoke. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified secondary devices hidden by the initial blast. Multiple IEDs along the perimeter, Dave warned, his military experience recognizing professional-grade explosives. Maria coordinated with their security network as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process multiple threat vectors while maintaining optimal tactical position. They're using military-grade thermal blocking, attempting to blind our sensors. Exactly as expected, Marcus confirmed, while Shadow analyzed attack patterns through the chaos. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he anticipated hostile movements. Years of battlefield operations allowing him to process complex tactical situations instantly. Time to show them what they're really dealing with. Emergency lighting. Cast harsh shadows across the facility grounds as Sarah activated their counter-assault protocols. Atlas moved with lethal precision, his military training evident as he secured critical defensive positions. Breach teams approaching south entrance, she reported, recognizing professional assault tactics. Rico, sweep and clear, Dave commanded, watching his partner spring into action. The Labrador's friendly demeanor vanished as years of combat experience took over. His explosive detection skills now focused on neutralizing the cartel's demolition experts. Their military background had prepared them for exactly this scenario. Maria's security feeds showed cartel forces advancing through the smoke, unaware they were walking into carefully prepared defensive positions. Viper tracked their movement patterns while maintaining tactical advantage, the Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience allowing him to anticipate hostile actions before they occurred. Multiple hostile Sector 4, Sarah noted as Atlas processed new threat indicators. The German Shepherd's combat training showed in how he maneuvered through the chaos, maintaining perfect tactical coordination with the team. Years of military operations had taught them to turn chaos into advantage. Dave monitored their perimeter as Rico neutralized another explosive threat. The Labrador's specialized training proved invaluable as he prevented multiple breach attempts, his previous combat experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. They're using military breaching protocols, Dave observed, recognizing patterns from their deployment days. Status report, Marcus called out, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' years of combat operations showed in his precise tactical movements, turning the cartel's assault team's professional training against them. Their military experience had prepared them for encounters with well-trained opponents. Maria coordinated defensive positions as Viper tracked multiple threat vectors. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. They're attempting to establish firing positions on the North Ridge, she reported, recognizing standard military tactics. Inside the facility, Sarah directed counter-assault operations. While Atlas secured critical areas, the German Shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he neutralized multiple hostile entries, his combat training allowing him to anticipate and counter professional military tactics. Breach team neutralized at Point Charlie, she confirmed. Explosive threat contained, Dave reported as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's specialized training showed in how he systematically eliminated the cartel's demolition capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional explosive experts. Years of military operations had taught them to neutralize threats before they materialized. Marcus monitored tactical feeds, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish combat positions. The Malinois' specialized training allowed him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his battlefield experience evident in how he countered professional military tactics. They're pulling back, regrouping for second wave. Perimeter secured, Maria confirmed, as Viper tracked retreating hostile forces. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he maintained tactical advantage while processing new threat indicators. Years of military operations had prepared them for sustained engagement with professional opponents. Sarah coordinated defensive preparations, while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. Second wave forming up in Sector 6, she reported. Demolition teams neutralized, Dave announced as Rico completed his tactical sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved invaluable in countering the cartel's professional breach teams, his combat experience allowing him to eliminate multiple explosive threats. Simultaneously, Their military background had prepared them for encounters with well-equipped opponents. The facility's security systems tracked cartel forces attempting to regroup under cover of darkness. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns, while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Their combat experience had taught them to anticipate professional military tactics. Hostile forces regrouping at Rally Point Alpha, Maria observed, as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. Years of military operations had prepared them for sustained engagement. Sierra monitored defensive positions while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. They're adapting their assault pattern, she noted, recognizing professional military tactics. Explosive threats contained, Dave reported, as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's specialized training proved invaluable in neutralizing the cartel's demolition capabilities, his battlefield experience allowing him to counter professional explosive experts. Years of combat operations had taught them to eliminate threats systematically. Marcus coordinated counter-assault operations while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his military experience evident in how he countered professional tactics. They're realizing this isn't a normal facility. Perimeter secure, Maria confirmed, as Viper maintained tactical advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking hostile movement. In patterns, years of military operations had prepared them for encounters with professional opponents. Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. They're switching to standard military assault protocols, she observed. All explosives neutralized, Dave reported as Rico completed his final sweep. The Labrador's specialized training proved invaluable in eliminating the cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. Their military background had prepared them for encounters with well-equipped opponents. The facility's security systems tracked cartel forces attempting to establish new assault positions. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. They're starting to realize what they're really facing. Hostile forces regrouping at all points, Maria observed, as Viper tracked enemy movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. Years of military operations had prepared them for sustained engagement with professional opponents. The Desert Guardian's facility had transformed from a simple training center into a tactical nightmare for the cartel's assault teams. Their professional military training, which had served them well in countless operations, now worked against them as they faced combat veteran K9 teams whose specialized experience had prepared them for exactly this type of engagement. The cartel's forces were about to learn that their mistake wasn't just in targeting a K9 facility, It was in failing to recognize that they were facing some of the most experienced military K9 teams in the world, teams whose combat training was about to turn a simple assault into a devastating tactical defeat. The cartel's second assault wave struck with military precision, multiple teams advancing simultaneously through the smoke-filled darkness. Marcus watched their coordinated movement through tactical feeds, while Shadow tracked hostile forces attempting to establish new breach points. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors, years of battlefield operations, allowing him to anticipate professional military tactics. Breach teams approaching from multiple vectors, Sarah reported as Atlas secured their defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to counter professional assault tactics while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. They're using advanced military formations. Dave coordinated counter-assault operations while Rico detected approaching demolition teams. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified multiple breach attempts, his combat experience allowing him to neutralize professional explosive experts. They've adapted their tactics, Dave noted, recognizing patterns from their deployment days. Maria's security network tracked cartel forces attempting to establish firing positions around the facility. Viper processed complex tactical situations. While maintaining combat readiness, the Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training evident in how he anticipated hostile movements. They're implementing full military protocols now, she observed. Exactly what we wanted, Marcus confirmed, as Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he countered professional military tactics, turning the cartel's combat experience against them. Let them commit fully to the assault. Emergency systems cast harsh light across the battlefield as Sarah activated their next phase of countermeasures. Atlas moved with lethal precision, his military training evident as he neutralized multiple hostile teams. Breach teams contained at all points, she reported, recognizing the frustration in their opponent's tactics. Rico, clear Sector 3, Dave commanded, watching his partner spring into action. The Labrador's combat experience showed as he systematically eliminated explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. Years of military operations had prepared them for sustained engagement. Maria monitored tactical feeds as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he identified enemy formations, his combat training allowing him to anticipate their tactical adjustments. "They're calling in reinforcements," she warned. Multiple hostiles approaching. Point Delta, Sarah noted while Atlas secured critical defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of combat operations, allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're attempting to establish a command post. Dave coordinated defensive operations as Rico neutralized another explosive threat. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable as he prevented multiple breach attempts, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. "They're switching to military-grade explosives," he reported. "Status update," Marcus called out, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. They're starting to realize their mistake. Maria directed counter-assault operations as Viper maintained tactical advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking enemy movements. Hostile forces attempting to establish sniper positions on the ridge, she reported. Inside the facility, Sarah coordinated defensive measures while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized multiple hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're implementing full-spectrum warfare now, she observed. Explosive. Threats contained, Dave confirmed as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial as he eliminated the cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional explosive experts. Years of military operations had prepared them for this level of engagement. Marcus monitored security feeds while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his combat experience evident in how he countered professional military tactics. They're starting to understand what they're facing. Hostile forces regrouping at all points, Maria noted as Viper tracked enemy movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're bringing in their veteran operators now. Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. They're implementing Delta Force protocols, she reported. All sectors secured, Dave announced as Rico completed his systematic sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved invaluable in neutralizing the cartel's breach capabilities, his battlefield experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. They're running out of options. The facility's security systems tracked cartel forces attempting to establish new assault positions. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns while Shadow maintained tactical advantage, the Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. They're realizing this isn't just about superior numbers. Enemy forces consolidating at rally points, Maria observed as Viper tracked hostile movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed complex battlefield situations while maintaining tactical readiness. They're preparing for a full-scale assault. Sarah coordinated defensive preparations while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. They're implementing their final assault protocols, she noted. Demolition teams neutralized, Dave reported, as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in eliminating explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're switching to pure force tactics now. Marcus directed counter-assault operations, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. Let them commit everything they have. Perimeter secure, Maria confirmed as Viper tracked enemy movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're preparing for one final push. Sarah monitored defensive positions, while Atlas secured their tactical advantage. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized multiple hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. All teams in position for final phase, she reported. Explosive threats eliminated, Dave announced as Rico completed his tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial in containing the cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. They're down to their last options. The Desert Guardian's facility had become a tactical nightmare for the cartel's assault teams, their professional military training now working against them as they faced combat veteran K9. Teams whose specialized experience had prepared them for exactly this type of engagement. The cartel's forces were about to discover that their mistake wasn't just in targeting a K9 facility. It was in failing to recognize that they were facing some of the most experienced military K9 teams in the world. Teams whose combat training was about to turn their final assault into a devastating tactical defeat. Dawn approached as the cartel launched their final assault, committing every remaining resource to overwhelm the facility's defenses. Marcus coordinated countermeasures, while Shadow tracked multiple hostile teams advancing through the pre-dawn darkness. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of battlefield operations, allowing him to anticipate professional military movements. 3 strike teams breaching West Sector, Sarah reported as Atlas secured their defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to counter advanced assault tactics while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. They've brought in their elite operators. Dave monitored security feeds while Rico detected approaching threats through thermal imaging. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified new breach attempts, his combat experience allowing him to neutralize professional demolition teams. They're using Special Forces tactics now, Dave noted. Maria's tactical network tracked cartel forces establishing new combat positions around the facility. Viper processed multiple threat vectors while maintaining tactical advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training evident in how he anticipated hostile movements. They've called in their veteran commanders, she observed. Perfect timing, Marcus confirmed as Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he countered professional military tactics, turning the cartel's combat experience against them. Time to show them what real special operations training looks like. Emergency lighting illuminated the battlefield as Sarah activated their final defensive protocols. Atlas moved with surgical precision, his military training evident as he neutralized multiple hostile teams. Elite units contained at Checkpoint Bravo, she reported, recognizing frustration in their opponent's tactics. Rico, sweep and clear Delta Sector, Dave commanded, watching his partner execute perfect counter-assault maneuvers. The Labrador's combat experience showed as he systematically eliminated explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. Years of operations had prepared them for this level of engagement. Maria coordinated defensive positions as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he identified enemy formations, his combat training allowing him to anticipate their tactical adjustments. "They're implementing full-spectrum warfare," she warned. "Multiple hostiles. At Point Echo," Sarah noted, while Atlas secured critical defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations. Years of combat operations allowing him to counter professional military tactics. "They're attempting to establish a forward command center." Dave directed countermeasures as Rico neutralized another explosive threat. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable as he prevented multiple breach attempts. His specialized training allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. "They're deploying their last reserve units," he reported. "Status check," Marcus called out, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Stide Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. They're starting to understand what they're really facing. Maria monitored tactical feeds as Viper maintained combat advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking enemy movements. Hostile forces attempting to establish firing positions on all approaches, she reported. Inside the facility, Sarah coordinated defensive measures while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized multiple hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. "They're committing everything they have now," she observed. "Explosive, threats contained," Dave confirmed as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial as he eliminated the cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional explosive experts. Years of military operations had prepared them for this intensity of engagement. Marcus analyzed security feeds while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his combat experience evident in how he countered professional military tactics. "They're realizing conventional tactics won't work here. Hostile forces consolidating at all points," Maria noted, as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. There, preparing for one final push, Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. "They're implementing their last resort protocols," she reported. "All sectors secured," Dave announced as Rico completed his systematic sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved invaluable in neutralizing the cartel's breach capabilities, his battlefield experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. "They're running out of options." The facility's security systems tracked cartel forces attempting to establish new assault positions. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. "They're about to learn why you don't challenge special operations veterans." Enemy forces massing at rally points, Maria observed as Viper tracked hostile movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed complex battlefield situations while maintaining tactical readiness. They're preparing for an all-out assault. Sarah coordinated defensive preparations while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. All teams ready for final engagement, she noted. Demolition teams neutralized, Dave reported, as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in eliminating explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're down to pure force options now. Marcus directed counter-assault operations while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. Let them commit their last resources. Perimeter secure, Maria. Confirmed as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're positioning for their final attack. The Desert Guardians facility stood ready as the Cartel prepared their last desperate assault. What had started as a simple intimidation operation had evolved into a full-scale military engagement, with the Cartel's professional forces discovering too late that they weren't facing ordinary trainers and dogs. They were confronting some of the most experienced special operations K9 teams in the world, veterans whose combat training was about to turn the Cartel's final attack into their most devastating defeat. First light revealed the full extent of the Cartel's final assault force. Over 100 elite operators advancing in professional military formations. Marcus coordinated defensive positions while Shadow tracked multiple hostile teams through the morning haze. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of battlefield operations allowing him to anticipate their movements. Cartel commander spotted at Rally Point Alpha, Sarah reported, as Atlas secured their defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to counter advanced assault tactics while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. Miguel El Lobo Ramirez himself is leading the operation. Dave monitored security feeds while Rico detected approaching threats through thermal imaging. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified new breach attempts. His combat experience allowing him to neutralize professional demolition teams. They've brought in their entire Special Operations Division, Dave noted. Maria's tactical network tracked Ramirez's forces, establishing command positions around the facility. Viper processed multiple threat vectors while maintaining tactical advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training, evident in how he anticipated hostile movements. El Lobo's reputation precedes him, former Mexican Special Forces commander. Now we know why they're using military tactics, Marcus confirmed, as Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he countered professional military maneuvers, turning the Cartel's combat experience against them. But they still don't know what they're really facing. Emergency systems illuminated the battlefield as Sarah activated their final defensive protocols. Atlas moved with lethal precision, his military training evident as he neutralized multiple hostile teams. El Lobo's forces contained at checkpoint Charlie, she reported, recognizing the growing frustration in their opponent's tactics. Rico, "A clear and secure Echo sector," Dave commanded, watching his partner execute perfect counter-assault maneuvers. The Labrador's combat experience showed as he systematically eliminated explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. Years of operations had prepared them for this level of engagement. Maria coordinated defensive positions as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he identified enemy formations, his combat training allowing him to anticipate their tactical adjustments. "Ramirez is implementing full military protocols now," she warned. "Multiple hostile teams at Point Foxtrot," Sarah noted, while Atlas secured critical defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of combat operations allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're establishing forward observation posts. Dave directed countermeasures as Rico neutralized another explosive threat. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable as he prevented multiple breach attempts, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. "El Lobo's forces are deploying their specialized equipment," he reported. "Status update," Marcus called out, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations, allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. They're about to learn why you don't challenge special operations veterans. Maria monitored tactical feeds as Viper maintained combat advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking enemy movements. Ramirez's forces attempting to establish firing positions on all approaches, she reported. Inside the facility, Sarah coordinated defensive measures while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized multiple hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. El Lobo's implementing advanced warfare protocols, she observed. "Explosive. Threats contained," Dave confirmed as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial as he eliminated the Cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional explosive experts. Years of military operations had prepared them for this intensity of engagement. Marcus analyzed security feeds while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his combat experience evident in how he countered professional military tactics. "Ramirez is starting to realize his mistake," he noted. "Hostile forces consolidating under El Lobo's direct command," Maria noted as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're preparing for their final assault. Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. Ramirez's forces implementing their last resort protocols, she reported. "All sectors secured," Dave announced as Rico completed his systematic sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved invaluable in neutralizing the cartel's breach capabilities, his battlefield experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. El Lobo's running out of options. The facility's security systems tracked Ramirez's forces attempting to establish new assault positions. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training, allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Time to show them what real special operations training looks like. Enemy forces massing under Ramirez's command, Maria observed, as Viper tracked hostile movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed complex battlefield situations while maintaining tactical readiness. El Lobo's preparing for an all-out assault. Sarah coordinated defensive preparations while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. All teams ready for final engagement, she noted. Demolition teams neutralized, Dave reported, as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in eliminating explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're down to their last options now. Marcus directed counter-assault operations while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. Let El Lobo commit everything he has. Perimeter secure, Maria confirmed as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. Ramirez's forces positioning for their final push. The Desert Guardian's facility stood ready as El Lobo prepared his last desperate assault. What had started as a simple intimidation operation had evolved into a full-scale military engagement, with the cartel's elite forces discovering too late that they weren't facing ordinary trainers and dogs. They were confronting some of the most experienced special operations K9 teams in the world, veterans whose combat training was about to turn Miguel Ramirez's final attack into his most devastating defeat. Sunrise cast long shadows across the battlefield as Miguel El Lobo Ramirez launched his final assault. Marcus watched through tactical feeds as the cartel commander deployed his forces with professional precision, while Shadow tracked multiple hostile teams advancing through the morning light. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of battlefield operations, allowing him to anticipate their movements. El Lobo's leading the main assault force personally, Sarah reported, as Atlas secured their defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to counter advanced military tactics while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. He's implementing full Special Forces protocols. Dave monitored security feeds, while Rico detected approaching threats through thermal imaging. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified new breach attempts, his combat experience allowing him to neutralize professional demolition teams. Ramirez is coordinating simultaneous attacks on all sectors, Dave noted. Maria's tactical network tracked the cartel commander's forces, establishing new combat positions. Viper processed multiple threat vectors while maintaining tactical advantage. The Dutch shepherd's battlefield training, evident in how he anticipated hostile movements. El Lobo's reputation is well earned. His tactics are textbook special operations. Time to show him what real combat veterans can do, Marcus confirmed as Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he countered professional military maneuvers, turning the cartel's combat experience against them. Let him commit fully to the assault. Emergency lighting illuminated the combat zone as Sarah activated their final countermeasures. Atlas moved with surgical precision, his military training evident as he neutralized multiple hostile teams. Ramirez's elite units contained a checkpoint Delta, she reported, recognizing the growing frustration in their opponent's tactics. Rico, sweep and clear Gulf sector, Dave commanded, watching his partner execute perfect counter-assault maneuvers. The Labrador's combat experience showed as he systematically eliminated explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. Years of operations had prepared them for this level of engagement. Maria coordinated defensive positions as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns through their security network. The Dutch shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he identified enemy formations, his combat training allowing him to anticipate their tactical adjustments. El Lobo's forces are implementing their final assault pattern, she warned. Multiple hostile teams at Point Hotel, Sarah noted, while Atlas secured critical defensive positions. The German shepherd's specialized training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of combat operations, allowing him to counter professional military tactics. Ramirez is deploying his reserve units. Dave directed countermeasures as Rico neutralized another explosive threat. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable as he prevented multiple breach attempts, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. El Lobo's forces are down to their specialized equipment, he reported. Status check, Marcus called out, while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. They're about to learn what real special operations training means. Maria monitored tactical feeds as Viper maintained combat advantage. The Dutch shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking enemy movements. Ramirez's forces attempting to establish firing positions on the high ground, she reported. Inside the facility, Sarah coordinated defensive measures while Atlas secured critical areas. The German shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized multiple hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. El Lobo's implementing his final assault protocols, she observed. Explosive threats contained, Dave confirmed as Rico completed another tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial as he eliminated the cartel's breach capabilities, his combat experience allowing him to counter professional, explosive experts. Years of military operations had prepared them for this intensity of engagement. Marcus analyzed security feeds while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his combat experience evident in how he countered professional military tactics. Ramirez is starting to realize what he's really facing, he noted. El Lobo's forces consolidating for final push, Maria noted, as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're committing everything they have left. Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated potential attack vectors, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. Ramirez's forces implementing their desperation protocols, she reported. All sectors secured, Dave announced as Rico completed his systematic sweep. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved invaluable in neutralizing the cartel's breach capabilities, his battlefield experience allowing him to counter professional demolition teams. El Lobo's down to his last options. The facility's security systems tracked Ramirez's forces attempting to establish new assault positions. Marcus analyzed their movement patterns while Shadow maintained tactical advantage, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Time to end this, he decided. Enemy forces massing under El Lobo's direct command, Maria observed, as Viper tracked hostile movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed complex battlefield situations while maintaining tactical readiness. Ramirez is preparing for one final assault. Sarah coordinated defensive preparations while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate potential attack vectors, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining combat effectiveness. All teams in position for final engagement, she noted. Demolition teams neutralized, Dave reported, as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in eliminating explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter professional military tactics. They're down to pure force tactics now. Marcus directed counter-assault operations while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to establish new combat positions. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate professional tactics. Let Ramirez commit his last resources. Perimeter secure, Maria confirmed as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. El Lobo's forces positioning for their final attack. The Desert Guardian's facility stood ready as Miguel El Lobo. Ramirez prepared to commit his remaining forces to one last desperate assault. What had started as a simple intimidation operation had evolved into a full-scale military engagement, with the cartel's elite forces discovering too late that they weren't facing ordinary trainers and dogs. They were confronting some of the most experienced Special Operations K9 teams in the world, veterans whose combat training was about to turn the legendary cartel commander's final attack into his most devastating defeat. The morning sun illuminated the final phase of El Lobo's desperate assault as his remaining forces charged the Desert Guardian's facility. Marcus coordinated defensive positions while Shadow tracked multiple hostile teams through the chaos. The Malinois' combat experience showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of battlefield operations allowing him to anticipate their movements with lethal precision. Ramirez is leading the main assault personally, Sarah reported as Atlas secured their defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to counter advanced military tactics while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. He's abandoned tactical doctrine for pure aggression. Dave monitored security feeds, while Rico detected approaching threats through thermal imaging. The Labrador's explosive detection skills proved crucial as he identified last-minute breach attempts, his combat experience allowing him to neutralize professional demolition teams. El Lobo's forces are committing everything, Dave noted. Maria's tactical network tracked the cartel commander's desperate advance. Viper processed multiple threat vectors while maintaining tactical advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield, training evident in how he anticipated hostile movements. Ramirez is exposing his command structure, she observed. He's given up on strategic positioning. Perfect, Marcus confirmed, as Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting to breach the main entrance. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he countered their increasingly chaotic movements, turning the cartel's desperation against them. Time to show them what they're really dealing with. Emergency systems cast harsh light across the battlefield as Sarah activated their final countermeasures. Atlas moved with surgical precision, his military training evident as he neutralized multiple hostile teams. Ramirez's forces contained at all points, she reported, recognizing the complete collapse of their opponent's tactical discipline. Rico, final sweep and clear, Dave commanded, watching his partner execute perfect counter-assault maneuvers. The Labrador's combat experience showed as he systematically eliminated the last explosive threats, his specialized training allowing him to counter even desperate tactics. Years of operations had prepared them for this moment of truth. Maria coordinated defensive positions as Viper tracked hostile movement patterns through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield experience proved crucial as he identified the disintegration of enemy formations, his combat training allowing him to anticipate their increasingly erratic movements. El Lobo's forces are breaking apart, she warned. Multiple hostile teams fragmenting, Sarah noted while Atlas secured critical defensive positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he processed complex tactical situations, years of combat operations, allowing him to exploit their opponent's growing chaos. They're losing unit cohesion. Dave directed countermeasures as Rico neutralized the final explosive threats. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable as he prevented desperate breach attempts, his specialized training allowing him to counter even unpredictable tactics. Ramirez's forces are out of options, he reported. Execute final phase, Marcus called out while Shadow engaged hostile forces attempting one last assault. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors. Simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to anticipate even desperate tactics. Show them what real combat veterans can do. Maria monitored tactical feeds as Viper maintained combat advantage. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex battlefield situations while tracking increasingly chaotic movements. Ramirez's command structure is collapsing, she reported. Inside the facility, Sarah coordinated defensive measures while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he neutralized fragmented hostile teams, his specialized training allowing him to counter even desperate tactics. El Lobo's forces are in full retreat, she observed. All threats contained, Dave confirmed as Rico completed his final tactical sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial as he eliminated the last breach attempts, his combat experience allowing him to counter even chaotic movements. Years of military operations had prepared them for this moment of victory. Marcus analyzed security feeds while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, his combat experience evident in how he countered desperate tactics. Ramirez has lost control of his forces, he noted. Hostile forces disintegrating. Maria noted as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. They're abandoning their positions. Sarah directed defensive operations while Atlas secured their tactical positions. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he anticipated desperate movements, his combat experience crucial in maintaining tactical advantage. Ramirez's forces are completely routed, she reported. Mission accomplished, Dave announced as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in securing their victory, his specialized training allowing him to ensure complete containment. El Lobo's operation is finished. The facility's security systems tracked Ramirez's forces in full retreat. Marcus analyzed their disorganized withdrawal while Shadow maintained tactical advantage, the Malinois' specialized training allowing him to process multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Time to end his cartel's reputation, he decided. Enemy forces in total collapse, Maria observed as Viper tracked hostile movements through their security network. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed complex battlefield situations while maintaining tactical readiness. Ramirez's forces have lost all combat effectiveness. Sarah coordinated final operations while Atlas secured critical areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to anticipate remaining threats, his battlefield experience crucial in maintaining complete control. All sectors secured, she noted. Area contained, Dave reported as Rico maintained tactical advantage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in securing their victory, his specialized training allowing him to ensure no threats remained. They're done. Marcus directed final operations while Shadow engaged retreating forces. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple threat vectors simultaneously, years of military operations allowing him to maintain absolute control. Let them spread the word about what happened here. Mission complete, Maria confirmed, as Viper tracked enemy movements through thermal imaging. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while maintaining combat readiness. El Lobo's forces are completely defeated. The Desert Guardian's facility stood victorious as Miguel El Lobo Ramirez's forces fled in complete disarray. What had started as a simple intimidation operation had evolved into a full-scale military engagement, with the cartel's elite forces discovering too late that they weren't facing ordinary trainers and dogs. They had confronted some of the most experienced special operations K9 teams in the world, veterans whose combat training had turned the legendary cartel commander's final assault into his most devastating defeat. The sun rose fully on a new day, illuminating not just a decisive victory, but the birth of a new legend, one that would spread through the criminal underworld as a warning about the true capabilities of seemingly ordinary K9 training facilities and their extraordinary defenders. In the days following El Lobo's devastating defeat, the Desert Guardians facility maintained its heightened security protocols, while federal authorities processed the extensive battlefield evidence. Marcus supervised the cleanup operations, while Shadow patrolled the perimeter, the Malinois' combat training still evident in how he analyzed every approaching vehicle, every unexpected movement. DEA teams found 3 more weapons caches, Sarah reported, as Atlas monitored the steady stream of federal agents. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to distinguish between legitimate law enforcement and potential threats, while maintaining optimal tactical awareness. They're calling it the largest cartel weapons seizure in Arizona history. Dave coordinated with evidence collection teams, while Rico assisted in locating buried explosives. The Labrador's detection skills proved invaluable as he identified hidden ammunition dumps, his combat experience allowing him to process multiple threat indicators simultaneously. They'd stockpiled enough firepower for a small war, Dave noted. Maria's security network tracked the ripple effects spreading through cartel territory. Viper maintained vigilant watch as reports flowed in, the Dutch Shepherd's battlefield training evident in how he processed potential threats. 3 more cartels have abandoned their expansion plans, she observed. Word spreading fast about what happened here. Let them spread it, Marcus confirmed, while Shadow monitored federal operations around the facility. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he adapted to the increased activity while maintaining security protocols. The more they talk, the fewer organizations will risk targeting K9 facilities. FBI forensics teams documented the extensive defensive preparations that had turned the facility into a tactical nightmare for the cartel's forces. Atlas watched their methodical work, while Sarah coordinated access, the German Shepherd's military, experience allowing him to maintain security while accommodating the investigation. They're particularly interested in how we integrated our countermeasures, she noted. Rico, sector sweep, Dave commanded, initiating another security check as more federal teams arrived. The Labrador's combat experience showed in how he balanced his friendly demeanor with precise tactical assessment, years of military operations evident in every movement, making sure we didn't miss anything. Maria analyzed intelligence reports while Viper tracked movement patterns beyond their perimeter. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process multiple information streams while maintaining tactical awareness. El Lobo's organization is collapsing, she reported. Other cartels are moving against his weakened position. Federal task force incoming, Sarah announced as Atlas secured the main entrance. The German Shepherd's combat training showed in how he evaluated the approaching convoy while maintaining his facility dog appearance. They're bringing in their K9 behavioral specialists. Dave supervised evidence collection while Rico assisted. Specialized teams. The Labrador's explosive detection skills continued proving invaluable as he located hidden weapons caches, his military experience allowing him to work seamlessly with federal operators. They want to understand how our dogs maintained their cover so effectively, he explained. Status report, Marcus requested, while Shadow monitored the expanding investigation. The Malinois' battlefield training showed in how he processed multiple activities simultaneously, years of combat operations, allowing him to adapt to changing tactical situations. Keep our security protocols active. Maria coordinated with federal intelligence units as Viper maintained perimeter security. The Dutch Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to process complex tactical situations while appearing to simply guard the facility. They're documenting every aspect of our defensive system, she noted. Inside the facility, Sarah guided federal teams through their training areas while Atlas maintained his watch. The German Shepherd's combat experience showed in how he balanced multiple responsibilities, his specialized training allowing him to secure critical zones while accommodating the investigation. They're particularly interested in our integrated tactical features, she observed. All sectors clear, Dave confirmed as Rico completed another systematic sweep. The Labrador's battlefield training proved crucial in verifying the facility's security, his combat experience allowing him to maintain comprehensive coverage. No remaining threats detected. Marcus reviewed preliminary reports while Shadow processed ongoing activities. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he adapted to the increased federal presence while maintaining tactical readiness. They're starting to understand the full scope of what happened here, he noted. Multiple agencies requesting briefings, Maria reported as Viper monitored approaching vehicles. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training allowed him to process complex situations while maintaining security protocols. They want to understand our defensive methodology. Sarah coordinated facility access while Atlas secured sensitive areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training showed in how he maintained tactical awareness while accommodating federal teams. They're particularly interested in how we integrated military protocols into civilian operations, she noted. Evidence. Collection complete, Dave announced as Rico maintained security coverage. The Labrador's combat experience proved invaluable in ensuring thorough documentation, his specialized training allowing him to assist federal teams effectively. They're calling it a textbook example of tactical integration. The facility's security systems continued monitoring all approaches while federal teams processed the battlefield data. Marcus supervised operations while Shadow maintained tactical advantage. The Malinois' specialized training allowing him to adapt to evolving situations. Let them study everything, he decided. Intelligence teams arriving, Maria noted, as Viper tracked new vehicles approaching the facility. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training showed in how he processed multiple activities while maintaining security protocols. They're bringing in their strategic analysts. Sarah directed federal access, while Atlas secured operational areas. The German Shepherd's specialized training allowed him to maintain optimal coverage while accommodating investigation teams. They want to understand how we transformed standard training equipment into defensive assets, she reported. Perimeter secure, Dave confirmed as Rico assisted federal operators. The Labrador's battlefield experience proved crucial in explaining their tactical integration, his combat training allowing him to demonstrate key defensive features. They're documenting every aspect of our setup. Marcus coordinated with task force leaders while Shadow maintained facility security. The Malinois' specialized training showed in how he processed multiple operations simultaneously, years of combat experience allowing him to adapt to changing tactical requirements. Show them everything, he instructed. Documentation teams expanding coverage, Maria reported as Viper monitored facility approaches. The Dutch Shepherd's combat training allowed him to maintain security while accommodating federal operations. They're creating a comprehensive tactical analysis. The Desert Guardian's facility had transformed from a battleground into a study in advanced defensive integration, with federal teams documenting how combat veteran K9 units had turned a simple training center into an impregnable fortress. What had started as a cartel attempt to destroy a K9 facility, had evolved into a masterclass in tactical adaptation, with El Lobo's devastating defeat becoming a template for protecting civilian installations. The facility's reputation grew as federal analysts understood the full scope of their achievement, not just defeating a cartel assault, but demonstrating how specialized military experience could be perfectly concealed within ordinary civilian operations. In the months that followed, the Desert Guardians facility's victory over El Lobo's cartel became legendary in law enforcement circles. The incident transformed how cartels viewed K9 training centers, never knowing which ones might house combat veterans. 3 more criminal organizations abandoned their expansion plans into Arizona, unwilling to risk confronting more military-trained dogs. Marcus and his team continued their work, maintaining their cover as civilian trainers, while their combat veteran dogs, Shadow, Atlas, Rico, and Viper, kept their lethal skills hidden beneath friendly exteriors. Their facility still trains police dogs, though few clients realize they're learning techniques developed by some of the most elite special operations K9 teams in military history. Today, if you visit the Desert Guardians K9 Training Center, you'll see what appears to be an ordinary facility. You might notice the Belgian Malinois watching calmly from the door, or the friendly Labrador helping with training exercises. What you won't realize is that you're in the presence of legendary warriors, and that's exactly how they prefer it. If this incredible story of hidden strength and unexpected heroes touched you, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Our channel brings you amazing tales of extraordinary courage and remarkable victories, and tomorrow's video will reveal another shocking story that will leave you speechless. Don't miss out. Join our community of viewers who love discovering these remarkable true stories. Remember to hit that notification bell to catch our next video first, and share this story with someone who appreciates tales of real heroes, both human and canine. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next incredible story.